everyone. I wanted to talk a little bit today about the energy of the work that I offer because I know that some of you have been wondering. And so basically, depending on who you are and what comes through intuitively, there's a variety of things that could occur. So my first training was Reiki. That is the foundation of everything that I do. There's a very solid, strong intention of everything being for your highest good in harmony with the highest good of all. That's what I'm all about. And on top of that, there are other layers of things that could come through. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Most often with the types of people who find me, people will be drawn to me who have an inclination towards some of the other frequencies that I tend to bring through. So one of the other things that I do is something that is pretty unique. I work with what's called Emotion Light, and it is an angelic frequency of harmony, and it is connected with the higher heart chakra. So there are different ways that people experience the higher heart. Some people see it as its own chakra. I've seen it intuitively that way, but I've also seen it as kind of I see it as more like a connector point to the collective heart. So it's like this energy comes through and it harmonizes us with the collective heart energy of all of life, not just humanity, but all of life, and moving everything in a higher frequency direction, but bringing the energy of harmony into the different aspects of our lives so that we can see things through a clearer lens, through the understanding that everything is as it needs to be right now, and embracing the polarity of this moment while simultaneously transmuting that which is no longer necessary, so that we're bringing in that which will bring us to a higher, more whole, more harmonious frequency, so that we can thrive in all areas of our life and continue our expansion. So that's Emotion Light, and it's pretty amazing stuff. I do Emotion Light attunements as well. If you're interested in that, definitely let me know. All of my pricing is extremely flexible. I really want everyone to be able to access what I have to offer. I just ask that there is an energy exchange that is as close to equal as you can manage, and that's perfectly fine. You know, I just want to make sure that there's a good energy exchange, because a lot of people go looking for free energy work, and while it has an effect, even if you go back and you look at what happened with when Dr. Mikao Usui was doing he was doing work on people who were poor and homeless, and they would have effects, but they wouldn't stick. And it wasn't because, oh, they're broke. It was because they weren't putting anything into the experience of co-creating that healing. And so there's got to be some form of an energy exchange. I'm also open to bartering and trade and things like that as well. So definitely, don't be shy if you're like, oh, a little short on cash. It's totally cool. I've been there myself, and that's why I really understand. But yeah, so anyway, those are kind of the two things that were sort of the first things I started working with, were those energies. And I've been practicing Reiki since 2010, and Emotion Light came into my life early in 2012. And then that year was when I started incorporating a lot of other things as well. But before that too, I had some of the more intuitive bits coming through with my guides and things like that. So as far as my guides go, I work with a lot of different beings, and I'll also work with your guides. I receive a lot of insights into things symbolically, and sometimes I will see your guides, especially if they're in tune with the realms that I'm more in tune with, which happen to be mostly the ET realms as well as the fairy realms, and some of the angelic frequencies come in a lot, but Those are the ones that I'm most connected with, as well as animals. So I'll see a lot of animal guides, animal totems coming in that represent something that you're working through. Maybe not guides that are there with you all the time, but ones that are there trying to show you something at this point in your life. And so that comes through a lot. I work with a lot of sacred geometry, and I bring in basically whatever frequencies you need will come through. So occasionally, like my Reiki master, she has a spiritual guide who has taught her things that were from Native American shamanism, because that was who that person was. And so I've learned some techniques from her that are shamanic techniques. Some of those involve breath work and the way the energy is pulled, and things like being able to sit inside of the body and, you know, process the healing from within, things like that. Having my spirit guides sit within me to assist with the healing, things like that. And there's a little there's a little gnat in here. Hey, little buddy. But yeah, and I do work with song and movement a lot. So I do a lot of movement. Sometimes even dances have come through. But different chanting, toning, you know, sometimes it can be straight up songs. It can sound like pretty fairy songs. It can sound like alien sounds, or just tones coming in kind of more at random. Some of this is somewhat channeling. I used to do a little bit of fairy channeling back around the 2012 days, and that was when I was really hardcore, like floating way up in the ethereal realms. I've come a lot back down into my body more since then. But yeah, so definitely some sound healing can come through intuitively, all kinds of things. And I share with you, you know, depending on what we're feeling, I can either talk through it in the moment, or I can just, you know, keep all of that in the corner of my head and write it down, and we can discuss it at the end. And it's a really great experience. If we're doing this over a distance, which most of the time when people find me online, they're not local. And so when we're doing this over a distance, basically I'll just have you lay down and relax, and I will, if we're on a video chat, you know, I'll turn off the camera so you're not tempted to just, you know, keep looking like, ooh, what's she doing, so that you can immerse yourself in the experience. Because I'll just be standing there waving my arms around and stuff, so you don't really need to see that. But yeah, so that's kind of what the experience is like. And people have a lot of really cool experiences. Recently, I think it's pretty funny, I've offered some free sessions and some free coaching calls for people to kind of build up, you know, just the awareness of what I'm offering. And I like to give to, you know, once I'm doing this more and making a solid living from this and can devote more time to it, I'll be able to do more work for free as well, because I'll have more free time. And so that's another thing about sharing your gifts. Don't be afraid to charge money, because if you charge money, you'll have more free time and energy to give things away for free in your life as well. So please remember that. But yes, so anyway, 2 people in a row, the next morning they had told me that they woke up and they were like laughing, either while they were asleep or when they first woke up, and they felt so good the next day. And with the emotion light attunements, I had this one woman who had this really profound experience where she had been trying to quit smoking, and it was right after the attunement. It wasn't even the next day, because she messaged me like an hour later, and she said that she had gone out and she lit up a cigarette out of habit, and she just watched it and the smoke looked blue to her. And she said that she didn't even have an interest in smoking it. She just looked at it and she was seeing just the beauty of the smoke, and she just watched the whole thing burn and didn't smoke any of it. And so that's kind of what I mean about bringing in the frequency of harmony into your life, is that you'll start to see what beauty there is in your current experience, but at the same time you're letting go of the things that are no longer serving you. So she didn't have an interest in it. She was just letting it be. She wasn't, stuck with it. So that'll give you kind of an idea of what that energy is all about. It's really amazing stuff, you guys. And my life has changed dramatically since I started doing energy work. So definitely, if it's something that resonates with you, send me a message. Like I said, my pricing is so flexible, and I want to serve. I want to be a part of your journey, and I want to share what I'm here to give the world. And it's just, yeah, it's amazing. And definitely, if you do your own intuitive energy work, or if you have some kind of a special gift or something that you're working to develop, let me know. I am all about helping you to develop your gifts. I offer coaching, and I love hearing what is going on in your life, and I just want us to be this one big beautiful tribe of amazing beings, all working together to co-create paradise, heaven on earth. That's why we're here, right? So yeah, and there's definitely more that that goes into my energy work. I've worked with portals and symbols and all kinds of stuff, so definitely, and lots of more, I have some pagan vibes. I had a past life in Avalon. I've had a future life as an ET. Time is not linear. All of these things can come through, so just whatever you need can come through. And remember that when you're, even just meditating with yourself, you can set the intention to allow whatever you need to come through. But I would love to work with you if you would love to work with me, and just send me a message and we can talk and set up a time, and it'll be fantastic. And if I didn't properly introduce myself, if you don't know me, I'm Jen. I'm from aquariangoddess.com, and I love you. You're wonderful. Thank you so much for being here on planet Earth. I hope you have a beautiful day.